right, you guys, I'm just waiting for my laptop to make sure I'm live, and then I'll get going with my box tutorial. And let me just double check. It looks like it's coming on, and it is. So you can see in front of you what I'll be making tonight. I need to know if you can hear me, because I have my air conditioner running, and it's a really loud air conditioner. And if you can hear it, then I'm going to turn it off. It's 84 degrees outside, and that means my room will be much hotter than that. But I'm trying to craft tonight with it on, but I can totally turn it off. I just need to know. So if somebody could just let me know by just commenting, that would be great. Can you hear me or can you not hear me? And do you hear the air conditioner? I sound fine. Thank goodness. Thanks, Ann. Whew, I didn't know if I was going to make it through tonight, but my voice is kind of off today. I'm not sure if it's just allergies or what, so just bear with me. I may have to cough a few times. I'm not really sure. Excuse me. See, I got to clear my throat. We had a great weekend. Hope you guys had a great 4th of July. I'm really thinking about all those in Texas right now and throughout the world where there's just so much devastation. Our prayers and thoughts are with all those that are affected. So I decided I'm just going to make a box tonight. I rarely make any 3D projects, but I saw this tutorial, and I'm really sorry I can't remember her name, but she based it off of Jen Chow's, I don't know, she had a video tutorial. I couldn't find it, so I don't know if she just sat down with her, if she's on her team or not, but she is a demonstrator. I know Jen. I don't know this other lady, but her name is Karen, and mine is too, so we've got a little bit in common. So I already found what I did wrong on this one. Yeah, I put this on the back side because can you see right there? The seam is on the back side, so that needs to get flipped over. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll try to make sure I do it correctly, but I've got a lot of things going on right now, a lot. And I did market my card club for July. Late this morning, so if you're not on my email list and you want information on that, make sure you go to inspiredbygraham.com and just fill out that pop-up. It will be emailed out again, but it is on my website, so I've got that updated today. It's also on my calendar as well with the link, so you can check that out. I'm using the Beautiful Gallery Designer Series paper along with the beautiful motives, and I will go over that. I'm going to go over this last, but I want to show you exactly what's going on in Karen's craft room a lot. So last Wednesday I did a pre-recorded video on these composition books that I decorated using the Charmed designer paper. These are gorgeous. I used all different kinds of ribbon. I used some of the current ribbon from Stampin' Up, and also used my grandmother's ribbon. I also used some retired ribbon. I gotta refresh my laptop. It's frozen. Hold on just a second. So I can't see anything. Any comments or anything like that. Okay, now I can see it's caught up. So this is my ordering special. Any order that is $75 or above will receive a free composition decorated book from me. It's my gift of saying thank you so much for ordering through me. And you can do that at inspiredbygraham.com. You can pick if you want a feminine, a masculine, or a child's version. These are all feminine looking. I just love this paper, and this is actually my favorite one right here. So you'll get a pen, and they're all kind of just all in a cello bag so they stay nice and clean. So this is my ordering a special, and it runs until midnight on July 14th. So just a few more days, like 7 more days, a week until this expires. No host code needed anymore, you guys. Plus a $75 order will get you $7.50 worth of Stampin' rewards that you can use with your next Stampin' Up order. So that's my ordering special. Let me just put that way over here. I got a lot, like I said, I got lots going on. Locally, I have a card class that I'm doing for the Independent Living Facility and Hartford Parks and Rec. So if you're local to me, we will be making some, I can't even remember what this was. It's a paper pumpkin refill kit. So the people at Independent Living will just make the cards as is. And with Parks and Rec, there's a total of 9 cards, by the way, and 3 of each design. And they got really pretty foil. I did stamp with 2 different stamp sets. And for Independent Living, I'll be doing all of their stamping because they prefer that. And they'll just assemble. But these cards are beautiful. They've got foil on the front and the back side, like that. And then I did kind of stamp a little bit on the inside. All the envelopes are like this. This is not gold. It's like I think it's like peach pie or timid tiger, something like that. So that's one of the designs, and then another one right here. And then lastly, my favorite one, which is this one right here. I don't have the stamp set for this paper pumpkin, but this is just a refill, and I like ordering them because they can give a lot more bang for your buck, if you want to say, for a local class. Hartford Parks and Rec will get to make all 9 cards, but what I do is I challenge them because they're a little bit more advanced and they like to stamp. And what I'll do is I'll say make 1 of each as is, and then go to town, and I give them a ton of different like die cuts. I just loads and loads of die cuts, ribbons, and they'll make them however they want. So I also will bring some cardstock because you can cut these in half and use for one of the panels or a card front. So I'll bring a few extra sheets of cardstock so people can use those as well. But it's super fun. They love to do that. They love to create on their own, and it's pretty easy for me. So those are the cards that they'll be doing. Let's see, next up is my crafting with my customers and my team. It's a crafting class which is on July 17th at 7 p.m. It's in-person, Zoom, or a recording. So if you can't make it, I do have a recording that I email out usually that evening. The only requirement is that you place an order for the Maritime Moments kit through me, and I have a specific PayPal link to do that. The cost is $31, and it includes the kit, a small thank you gift, and also $2.30 in Stampin' rewards when ordering the beautiful, oops, that's a mistake. You can see I do a copy and paste Maritime Moments kit. So, and going through that link, so you'll earn Stampin' rewards on top of free gifts and the kit. So another way of saying thank you for joining me. The RSVP for this is July 13th, so I encourage you to join in the fun. It is a lot of fun. Our group is small, but I'm really trying to look into creating a larger group. So I said to myself, sorry about that. I was a block with a stamp on it. Hopefully I don't need that one. So hopefully that group will go or grow. I have 2 crafting kits that are still available. My recipe book, which is available through October. And I've got to get this on my website, but there is a blog post on this. I just need to get it in an easier place to see. This is a Dollar Tree photo album turned into a recipe book. You can make 2 of these, and it's got a lot of supplies. My other crafting kit are the writing tablets, and you can see here how I'm going to sell them at my craft fairs. I'm going to add in, let's look at this one. So this is the writing tablet using the Dollar Tree little tablets. I'm decorated them, very easy instructions. I wrapped it around with this is Retired Island Indigo. I don't know if you guys, I'm dating myself, but that's the color of this, and a blue pen for this one. So I've got all my stickers ready to go, and so these are just something that I'm going to be doing for craft fair. And this is a kit. You can buy a full kit or a half a kit. And that has not been put up on my website yet, but hopefully by Wednesday evening, that will be there too. So you'll also get some designer paper, some embellishments with the kit as well. So lots and lots of things with that crafting kit, and same with the recipes. So sorry that's not on my website yet, but if you're on my email list, you would have this already. So another plus for being on my email list. All right, let me try to find a place to put everything, and I just remembered I need a ink pad and a stamp for tonight, so grab that at the same time. All right, for tonight's project, and let's see, there's a lot here. So today I wanted to make a box that can hold cards. So I thought that this one would make a lot of sense because I am, this is part of my card club for July. So if you're not familiar with my card club, it was emailed out today. I'll try to put a link for every single one of my offerings in the description box later tonight, so you can go to that information. But this is the box, and I've got the basic beige ribbon, Unbounded Love scallop oval, and then this is the framed scenes oval, the smaller one. So that's all your die cutting. Stamping is thank you for everything, and that comes from the beautiful motifs and early espresso, which matches the early espresso here. All the panels are in early espresso. The box itself is made with a two-toned paper, which is 12 by 12, and I'm going to show you that in just a second because I need to grab a couple sheets of that for the box I'm making today. So both sides of the scene, so pretty. On the ends, I used some of what was left over from 2 sheets of the 6 by 6. And as you can see, it really makes a really gorgeous box. So on the inside, I didn't know what scene to put on the top, so I just had a piece left over, which was the perfect size, and it worked perfectly. So here I've got the little lid. This is a super easy box, so hopefully I won't screw it up for you. But inside the box, you can see how big it is. It's 2 inches by, let me see, where's my, I never even actually measured it, so let's do that. It's 2 inches, and then going this way, it's 5 3/4 inches, or just a little bit more. So perfect box for lots and lots of things. But I thought I would put my card club cards in there, and I can show you these tonight before I create the box for you. So here is one. This is kind of a fun fold, a little bit of a fun fold. I'm using the beautiful motifs and also the Gallery Blooms dies. And I'll show you everything. I have all the dies set aside in the embossing folder, but this one here just kind of pops up. This is like 4 1/4 by 4, like this piece right here is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. So it's so pretty, this paper, and this is 3 inches across, so you can get 2 cards out of 1 sheet of the 6 by 6. And then on the envelope, I took a piece of the designer paper and added it to the envelope flap, and that it just makes such a beautiful presentation. So that was card number 1, and you'll get to make 2 of these. Card number 2 is a thank you for everything using Secret C, which is my favorite blue now. And then you can see we've got one of the die cuts from the beautiful motifs. And here I used some designer paper and I stamped in Secret C. The envelope, I used that kind of flowery stamp and just stamped on the front and then the envelope flap. So that's card number 2. Again, you'll get 2 pieces to make 2 cards. This one here is just so like stunning just the paper itself. I used Smoky Slate, Early Espresso. This die here is from the Mixed Labels dies. It's the first I've ever I've used it, but I thought it looked really cool underneath the sentiment, which is stamped in Early Espresso and Smoky Slate. On the inside, I use the die here, and I'll show you just a second. On the inside panel where someone can write, and that is kind of crooked, I'm noticing right now, but we won't look at that. And then this piece had some designer paper left where I added it to the envelope flap. And then lastly, this one here is a Thinking of You card, which took a little bit of thought to get this to work, but I did figure it out. This is one sheet of the 6x6, and I die cut it with the notes, what is it, textured notes. You can see hopefully that little stitching there. Two different sizes. We've got Lost Lagoon cloud cover. This one is also the textured notes as well, and I just angle cut it. And then the embellishments as well. And then here's this one, and you can see how this kind of pops up. It's super cool. It doesn't cut out itself, so it just kind of stays within the paper. This is a 4 1/4 by 2 3/4 inch basic white, and I just add. I wanted Card Club members to experience all of the dies, and there was one that I did not use because I couldn't. But they're going to get a sample of it so they can see. And then this is one of the stamps. It reminded me of like a river, or it can be this like little walkway if you stamped it in brown. So so that's all the designs, 8 kits, and you'll get a full pack of the adhesive backed textured dots, which equals $20.50. So a great buy. And also you'll get a full pack of the beautiful gallery. So let's take a look at that. So there's 10, I believe 10 patterns times 2, because we got the front and the back side, and they're all scenes except for I think one, but I used this one in Card Club, as you can see. Let me actually grab that card here. So this is the card I made using this sheet here. So on the back side, we've just got some like watercolor wash, basic beige, and some pecan pie, a little bit of Early Espresso in there. So it makes a nice little background. This one I did not use. I may use it tonight. I haven't decided what pattern I'm using tonight, so this might be a choice. And then on the back side, we've got Lost Lagoon. And then this one here is one of the cards I made, which is the first one, which is this one right here. And this card here is on the right side of the paper, so I still have a 3x6 piece that I can use for my second card. So that will make 2 of these with some leftovers. Okay, so that was that one. This one I did not use. It's a tree, but it's, for me, this is not me, and I wouldn't even know how to use this piece. But on the back side, most certainly I would use this, most certainly. This one here is a winter scene. I didn't want to use it because we're in the middle of summer. Although I would really love the temperature of like 30 degrees right now. I'm so sick and tired of this heat and humidity. It's just so gross. But anyway, gray granite, we got some black in there, we got some basic beige, super pretty scene, and I'll probably wing it on Wednesday on one of these designs. And then on the back side, it's a really beautiful pattern, this side here. This one is really hard for a box, so I am not going to be using this pattern for a box, but simply this would look good in a 6x6 frame as is. It's just so pretty. And on the back side, we've got, see how this kind of goes together? It's really nice. Every single one of these, even that tree pattern, I probably could get away with. And then here's this one. I did not use this one, but I've seen some gorgeous cards made out of it, and I'll probably use this one on Wednesday. And then on the back side, it's just so pretty, you guys. If you don't have this, you really should. This is the pattern I used for the box, as you can see. And I'm going to show you how to cut this down. Hopefully, I made this really earlier today, so hopefully my brain hasn't left me, and I'll be able to cut this for you the correct way. And then on the back side, we just got some pretty vanilla and blackish kind of charcoal-y colored flowers that go with the stamp set. This one is another gorgeous one. I use this one for Card Club, and here is the card that I made using this pattern here. And then on the back side, we've got kind of like a wood grain. If it's not wood grain, but it kind of looks like it. And then here's this one. I'm using this pattern tonight for my box, I believe. And then on the back side, this one's nice too. Probably a thinking of you card, or maybe a sympathy card. I'm not quite sure. If it was a sympathy card, I probably would add some color to it. Just a soft, like neutral Lost Lagoon, or maybe some cloud cover. I'm not quite sure, but maybe I'll try to make a card with that one. This one is really pretty as well, and this was one of my Card Club patterns as well. And then this is the back side. And then here's this one. I did not use this one at all, but this one looked really nice as well. And then this side is like a street pattern, and it's the oddest thing. I don't know why they threw this in, and if you know, please let me know, because I don't know. Like, I would have loved to see this like in maybe a watercolor wash of Mossy Meadow, don't you think? But it's very interesting why they have that street pattern on the back side. No clue. But that's all the patterns in the paper. And in Card Club, these are all of the dies that I'm using. I've got stitched shapes, I've got the mixed labels, and the nested, or notes, I can't remember that one. It's textured notes. It's always on back order. Damask Designs embossing folder, and the stamp set itself is beautiful motifs and gallery blooms. Some of the dies that I used in Card Club are in, these actually don't go in there, are in Card Club itself. So here's a bunch of the dies. They're just so pretty. But anyway, these go with beautiful motifs. And all the dies. I do all the die cutting for you, so you don't have to worry about that. I get that all done for you, and it's honestly a super great deal every single month. So take a look at that on my website. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But let me just get everything off my desk, because I'm going to need a lot of space because I'm going to be using my paper trimmer, and I'm doing this from start to finish, so cutting all my paper, because I think it might be easier for you to see how I cut the paper. So you guys can just take a break for a second. Oh wait, here's my template. I did do a template, which is really pretty. You can see how these actually work. They don't cut out at all. They just are kind of like these little things that you can just kind of pop up. So that's one of the designs. This design was not in Card Club, and then this one here is not, but these two were. And then all the sentiments over here I stamped in Secret C. But that is, it's an online exclusive, and it's $45.75. It is available. It was this afternoon, so if you're in Card Club, you might want to get your hands on this, because you're going to want it, especially to make additional cards. All the cardstock colors are all of these, you guys. I'm not joking. So we've got vanilla, basic white, smoky slate, secret sea, pecan pie, peach pie, mossy meadow, lost lagoon, gray granite, early espresso, crumb cake, cloud cover, calypso coral, basic gray, basic black, and basic beige. Lots of basics, huh? So those are all of the colors. Gives you so many options. All right, let's get this all cleaned up, and I'm going to decide what paper I'm going to be using, because this is what I have left, and I need at least 2 sheets of it. So let's just check it out. And I did say I was going to use that blue, this pattern right here. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to grab this other one that's in here. Just in case, I can't remember. I think I used 2 sheets, but I'm also quite not sure in the end. I had to try this a couple times, the box, because I wasn't, the pattern, or the measurements that the demonstrator was using was not correct. So I had to jerry rig it and figure it out. I'm not very good at 3D projects, but I did manage to make this one. And here's another template that I used. I just used some of the cards or my designer paper. This is a specialty paper, so it's a little bit thicker, and I created this box here. So this was a Valentine paper we had maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. All right, so the 12 by 12 that I'm using comes from Everyday You and Me. It's a 2-tone cardstock. It comes 12 by 12, and in this pack you have Gray Granite, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Pecan Pie, Pretty Peacock, and Very Vanilla. You can use white as well. It's, well, in here with that paper you can use white, but it doesn't come in that. I've already used a couple of the sheets, so I used all the pecan pie to make this box here, and part of that was because I didn't know how to cut the paper, so I made a few mistakes. So we've got 2 sheets of every color. So vanilla, and there's your gray, your Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock, Mossy Meadow. I'm going to go with Mossy Meadow. And also another trick that I use is I'll fan out my cardstock, and I will take the piece that I'm using and just kind of put it next to each other to see what colors work the best from the cardstock colors. So Mossy Meadow is going to be my choice here. I'm not sure the price on this. I think it's $10, but I'm not quite sure. And it's 2 tones, so one side is going to be dark and one is going to be a little bit like lighter. So here's your Pretty Peacock and 2 different tones. All right, before I start cutting the paper, I'm going to check to see if there's any questions before I move on and create this box, because I see a few comments here. And oh, the lovely folks at Independent Living in Randolph. Yes, I know they do. And you should come over and join us. It would be fine to do that. Okay, so I've got my notes over to the side of me. And my trimmer I'm using for my highlight panel, Secret Sea. I thought Secret Sea, Mossy Meadow, and this design here all kind of work together. So the green's going to be the box, and then the highlight panels are going to be the Secret Sea. Cloud cover would work as well. I also pulled crumb cake, but I didn't think that gave it enough darkness, so I'm going with that. My notes are here, and this will be a free tutorial eventually. Just want you to know. So it won't be today and it won't be tomorrow. So later on this week I will have a free tutorial on how to make this box, and it's only exclusive to my email subscribers, so make sure you are a subscriber. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to create and cut the 12 by 12 down to the box I need, the size. So I'm basically going to be working on this piece first, then the lid. So we've got 12 by 12, and I need to extend the arm. Now our two-tone paper is lighter than our regular cardstock, so when you're scoring it, you need to be a little bit careful because you don't want to get pressed too hard with your scoring blade. You have a chance to go through the entire piece of paper. So just be careful. It's thicker than our designer paper, I believe. I really don't know the weight of it, but if I'm feeling it right now, I can tell the Mossy Meadow is thicker. I just don't know the real weight of it. So this 12 by 12 is going to get cut down to 10 by 12. So you can do it a number of ways. You can slide this all the way over to 10, or you can just slide this over to 2. It really doesn't matter. I like to have a little bit more control with my paper and the trimmer. So I'm going to slide it over to the 10. And then my scoring blade just came off. I think I need to replace that one. Let me see. I'm going to double check this size. With boxes and 3Ds, you got to be careful because if you make it a little bit bigger or too small, it might not work. And that's how I found out on the first one. So there we go. We got a 10 by 12. Save this. You can use that for a belly band, another highlight piece from our card. I don't know. You can use that. And then we're going to score. So we're going to score on the long side. So that's the 12-inch side. So I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to score at 5 inches. Okay, so our first score line is 5 inches. And we're going to move this one out of the way because that's the cutting blade. We don't want to cut. So 5 inches, and I'm just going to go up like 4 or 5 times. And I've got my score line right there. I don't want to push too hard again because I don't want that to go through. Now the next score line is going to be at another 5 inches. So basically you can rotate your paper and slide it over to 5 inches. So 5 and 5. Okay. I'm going to go over that another time. Now I'm going to flip it, and on the short side, we're going to score at 2 inches on all 4 sides. So with this one, I have to go with this. Just be careful there. 2 inches. There's another 2 inch. We just keep rotating our paper. 2 inches. And then 2. All right. I am going to, let's see, what do I want to do? You can do 2 things. You can add, you know what, I didn't do this right. Darn it. I wasn't supposed to do the 2 inches on one of those sides. Score on short side, 2 inches both sides. Well, I'm just going to start over. Good thing they have 2 sheets. I already told you I was going to mess up. Oh my goodness. All right, so mind me there. This is not edited, people. It's alive. So we'll figure it out as we go. That's why I get so nervous doing 3D projects, because generally I will probably screw them up. So that was 5 and 5. And then this is going to be 2. And then we're going to rotate it. And this is going to be 2. So easy numbers to figure out. 2s and 5s. All right, that is better. All right, so now I'm going to fold this arm up. And I'm going to get this other green sheet out of here so I don't use it. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to work on the base first. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to fold and burnish with my bone folder all of the score lines first. It's something I like to do. Some people will cut it first, but for me and my older eyes, I just like to fold and burnish. And what I was saying before I noticed I messed up, was you can put your designer series paper on now if you want to. Okay, this would be the front, so the side, so basically right here, and then this would be the other pattern, but you got to remember the way the paper goes. So that's why I chose to do it after the fact. So you'll need some paper snips to do this, or some other kind of scissors. My paper snips are on the other side. Hold on. Okay, so this little square right here, all you're going to do is I'm going to cut up on that line, and I'm going to make a wedge. So I'm going to do both of them first, and then I'm going to create a wedge. So a really tiny triangle, just about that size. And it doesn't have to be the same size. This removes the bulk. All right, and then you're going to turn it, and you're going to do the same thing. So if I didn't cut up, then I would go this way and then cut up on the score line. But for me, I think I have a little bit more control if I just cut up here and then make my wedge. So it looks like this. Okay, easy so far, right? And then the next step is we're going to put this together. So you're going to fold in these two little tabs. And when you're using the two-tone paper, make sure you decide what you want on the inside and what you want on the outside. I've got the Mossy Meadow on the outside. I'm going to use my liquid glue. You can use also, you need strong adhesive. So liquid glue, Seal Plus, or tear and tape. Oh shoot, I just got some glue over here. Just try to wipe it off. Alright, so now I'm going to fold up and get these edges flush with one another. And then we're going to do the other side. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but if I don't do this step right, see I'm off, and then it's going to be all messed up. So I want this edge to edge. That's the most important part right here. Okay, so right now we've got this. Looks like this. Now we're going to fold these in, and I'm going to put adhesive on this one and this one, and then this gets folded in, and make sure it's not going over the edge. Also, I want to make sure that, well, my flaps are going the correct way because the adhesive would be on the outside. Of course, we don't want that. All right, so here's our little box. Wasn't that easy? I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to just kind of rub it in here because it's a humid day in here, even though I have my AC on. And it's going to take a little bit longer for my paper to adhere. All right, so you can also do this. I did this earlier today. I had these little binder clips, and I just put them on like this, just to hold it there, okay? This is going to be the front, and this is the back. And this is the back because you can see the end of the paper here. Here, it's just folded over. All right, so that is this one. Now, the top of the box. Oh boy. I hope I can use this paper. This is gonna stink now because I got score lines. You know what, I'm gonna go get a Mossy Meadow carpet or cardstock. That works just fine. Okay, so now this is where I'm gonna hopefully not make a mess. But we need to extend out our paper trimmer once again. And the top, okay, 8 1/16. This is what was taking me forever because the first measurement I was given was 8 and that wasn't correct. And then I tried 8 1/8. That was too big, so I decided to go 8 1/16. And I'm just going to cut this little piece off, and that's going in the recycle bin. And then I'm going to rotate it to 4 1/8. So you can get 2 box tops out of 1 sheet of the cardstock. Now, scoring, it's very easy. You're going to score on all 4 sides at 1 inch. So I don't know how I can mess that up. I'm going to use this side over here as my guide. Just go back and forth, go all the way around to 1 inch. And then 1 inch. All right, we'll work on this top next. And this time I'm not going to fold and burnish. I'm going to do it the other way so you can see. All you need to do is work on these little squares. So you're going to cut up into the score line, the horizontal, and then you're going to make a wedge. And then you're going to make a little slice over here. So now our tab looks like that. All right, so again, I'm going to go up and then wedge it and then slice. And then we got 2 more. So we're going to cut up to the score line, wedge, and slice. Be very careful with these paper snips because if you're not, you can totally cut yourself. So our last one is up to the score line, wedge, and slice. So now it looks like this. Right? Easy, right? Now we're just going to fold all of the lines here and burnish. This lid is going to go together the same way as the box bottom. Okay, so we've got all those going, and now I just need to fold these over. All right, so now we're going to take these little tabs and I'm going to fold them in. Hold those in place. Let me grab my glue here. You don't need a lot of liquid glue. It's just a little bit. Then we're going to come over. I'm going to do one of these first. And then we're going to do this one. Get it really flush. And then we'll repeat the same process on the other side. So fold those in. That's probably a little too much glue. And then in, connect the two. And then I turn it over and I look, I use my finger here to rub against it to make sure it's not going over the edge. And just pinch it for a second. And then we're going to repeat over here. So again, it's flush, and I'm just going to pinch it. And you can take your binder clips if you want and just kind of clip all 4 of these if you want to while you're cutting your cardstock. I don't have enough binder clips at this desk, so I won't do that. Now here's the test. Does the top fit the box? And we hope it does. And it does. Yay. Woohoo! I'm so excited I got this right, because everything else should be a piece of cake, right? Okay, so we'll put those together. Now we got to cut all of the secret C. And it's fairly easy to do it because they're pretty much repeating the sizes. So for the panels, and we're going to create this panel here times 2 because we have 2 sides that are the same. This is going to be 5 3/4 by 4 3/4, and I am going to just double check because I don't want to mess this up for you. And 5 3/4 by 4 3/4. Yep, so 5 3/4 all the way over. You can use this for that scalloped, Unbounded Love scallop die cut. So 5 3/4 by 4 3/4, and we need 2. So there's 1, and then 2. We're going to save this piece because we can use it on something else in this box. Okay, so those are all going over there. So those are the sides. And now the ends, which are these pieces. So you've got 2 sides there. I'm going to use another piece of Secret C. And they are, let's see, 1 3/4 by 4 it's always going to be 4 3/4, and I just want to double check. Yeah, 1 3/4. So 4 3/4. Wait a minute, I'm just double checking. Yeah, 4 3/4 by 1 3/4. So we need 2 of these. So there's 1 and 2. So those go right here. Okay, times 2. We aren't putting anything on the box. We don't need to put anything on the box. It's fine. If you're selling this as like at a craft fair, you need to stamp your angel policy, and I would just stamp it on the bottom here. You can also put one of your like stickers with your information on the back here too. I'm starting to use clear stickers or labels, and those seem to actually work pretty good as long as you print in a color. So that's that. So we have those 2 done. So that is done. Now we have to create the pieces for the lid. So let me grab my lid. And these are really easy as well. So the lid is going to be 5 3/4 this way, okay? Where's my ruler? I'm just going to double check. 5 3/4. Yep. So 5 3/4. What is this one? This is not 5 3/4. Okay, so we'll go this way. 5 3/4. Oops. And then we're going to turn it, and it's going to be 1 3/4. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Hold on. Yes. Because that's for the top. Okay, I was starting to freak out there a little bit. Okay, so that's the top. You only need one of those. And then the ends, 4 3/4. Wait a minute, I don't have that right on here. Hold on. I gotta just double check this. Yeah, that's right. Okay, this is 5 3/4 by, I think it's 3/4 of an inch. Let me just double check here off camera. Yep. So 5 3/4. So we already have it 5 3/4, and we're going to go at 3/4 of an inch times 2. Okay. Put those over here, and then we have these little pieces here, right? So these are 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to continue to use this piece. And it needs to be 1 3/4. Really small strip here. Save this because you could use it on your next box, because you just need to cut it down. Same with this one right here. Save it. All right, so those are all those pieces. So now we have the top goes here, and then the long ones go on here, and then the ends. Now the designer paper. So I think I used 2 sheets of the 8.5 by 11 Secret C, which I have a ton left over. Now I'm going to try to be repetitive on this. Okay, so meaning I cut this down, and I want it to be basically the same thing on both sides. So I have the trees on the right side here. When I flip it over, the trees are still on the right side. Okay, so now I'm going to look at my paper, because I've got to trim this off just a little bit, okay, because this is 6 inches, and I'm going to just cut it off like 1/2 inch, okay? So I look at the paper to see what do I not want on the paper. Now, if it was just a little bit on each side, I would cut it 1/4 inch, and then 1/4 inch over here, so that equals your 1/2 inch. But I don't know as if I really care too much on this, so I'm gonna just put both of these together, because you can just cut these at the same time. Just stack them up, and then I'm going to cut off 1/2 inch. I'm going to save these because I can use those. All right, so that is now here. Now I'm going to just slice off the top, the sky, because there's a lot of blue up there, and I don't really care about keeping a lot of that sky. So that is going to be at 4 1/2. So again, we can cut these at the same time. And I'm saving these. So now we have our sides to our box. Okay, that's going to go over in that pile. Now we need to do the ends. So in this one, I used more of the scenes, the same scene. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, too much. You'll just have to remember what do you want on the top of the lid. Okay, so now I've got another sheet of the designer paper, and I'm going to just try to use this one if I cut it correctly. so the box, okay, we got that one done, we got that one done. So the box ends, which are this piece here, okay, we got 2 of them. It just needs to be 1/4 of an inch smaller. So I'm also going to look, remember we cut off 1/2 of an inch on this side, so to be consistent I'm going to cut that 1/2 inch off. And we'll save this. So now all 3 of those are exactly the same pattern. Okay. Now this lid, again, this is 1 3/4. So this needs to be 1 1/2. So I'm going to use the end over here on my trimmer, and I'm sliding it way over. I'm thinking first before I make this cut, because it needs to be shorter. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to rotate this, and this piece here, right, it's at 4 3/4. It needs to be at 4 1/2. So I'm going to just trim this off. That way I've got this piece to use. Now I'm going to go back and trim off 1 1/2 inch. Okay, that's one end, and then on the next one I am going to, because it really doesn't matter, but I want the ends, so I'm going to just rotate it and cut it at 1 1/2. So now I've got 2 pieces. This I'm going to save, and let's see, I'm going to use this for, I'm just trying to think, I'm going to use it for something. Let's see. Okay, so now we've got all these little scraps over here to use to decorate the sides. Okay, and it's only 1/2 of an inch, so we're good with that, right? So the end pieces, I want to use all the sky because it's consistent, and it really doesn't matter if we have a pattern or not, consistent pattern. So these, I'm going to turn it this way. They need to be cut at 1 1/2 inch. So we'll go 1 1/2. Well, I'm going to go this way because it's easier. So 1 1/2 inch. That's the sky. I'm going to put that up there. I'm saving this. Then I'm going to cut another one at 1 1/2 inches. Okay, so there's 2. And these are the 2 that it goes with. And now we have these little strips at 3/4 of an inch, right? So we want to be consistent, or else I do. And they need to be, they're already at 5 3/4, so we need to be 5 1/2 inches, which it already is, right? And we need to be 1/2 inch. I'm going to turn it this way because that's the edge I haven't cut from, I don't think. 1/2 inch. And another 1/2 inch. This one's a little less than 1/2 of an inch, so I'm going to chuck that. I don't want that. All right, so this goes there. Now finally we have the top of the box, which for me I used a seam, but I need it to be 5 1/2 inches. So what I have left is the sky, and it's already 1 1/2 inches, and it's already this length I need. Okay, so I'm going to use the clouds as the top. This piece is just too small to use. And these are the pieces that I have left over. I'm gonna save these because you can still make a really nice card out of these. Okay, and now all we need to do is glue all these down and do a little bit of stamping and we'll be pretty much done. So I'm gonna just try to do this as fast as I can. This is the time if you need to go take a break, go get something to drink, eat, use the restroom. Now is your chance. Or if you have any questions, you can post those in the comment box. And a thumbs up and a sharing is also very helpful to my YouTube channel. Trying to get to 11,000 subscribers by December 31st of 2025. So I think it's doable. Last time I checked, I was at like 10,600. So another less than 400 would be, I think, doable. It's July, so we've got almost 6 months to do that in. All right, those two are good. And I guess from what I understand with YouTube is that the more people comment, the better the channel. I guess the algorithms is what I understand. So please comment, comment, comment. So if I was mass producing this, I would do one box at a time. Unless you're really good at organization, which I think, you know, if you get like maybe 5 of these done, your brain will just let you go at it. But this is my second box, so I'm just still a little nervous that I might mess this up, but so far only a little bit. This box makes a really good gift. I'm thinking that I'll make this for my mail carrier because he got a lot of flack last week and the week before because he was on vacation. We only have one mail carrier for our town. And I don't know how many stops he has to make, but he was on vacation and he's been in Vermont. I think he lives in Vermont. I don't think he lives in New Hampshire. I'm only 20 minutes from New Hampshire, so I guess he could very well live in New Hampshire, but I'll say he lives in Vermont. And he was gone for 2 weeks, and people were complaining because we didn't get notice that our mail wasn't going to be delivered because there was no substitute available, all that good stuff. Poor guy. So it's not his fault. He was on vacation. He was actually out in Colorado getting his wife, who was still living out there, and we've had this mail carrier for over a year and a half, I believe. So anyway, I think I'm going to make him some cards. You know, they used to live in Colorado, so this scenery paper would probably could be great. And once I get it all done, I'll fill the box up with cards because I only had 4 cards in there, and I'm going to guess you can put at least 8 with your envelopes. Look at how beautiful that is, you guys. I hope Stampin' Up! Does more of this scenery paper. I absolutely love it. And I know some people that are local to me say, hey, we're going to get any more of that scenery paper. Well, here you go. This is not in the annual catalog. It is an online exclusive, so you will not find this in any catalog. All right, I think I have everything. Hopefully I cut all the pieces I needed. Well, we'll find out in just a second, okay? So now, as I mentioned earlier, this is the back side of the box, okay? Because we've got the end of the paper. It really doesn't matter what side we put this on because it's exactly the same thing. So you could have done this before you folded your boxes or the box, but I kind of like doing it this way. That way if I mess up, then I might have a better chance of fixing it. So this one here, I'm going to flip it over. I'm just going to put my hand in here and I'm just going to kind of rub it back and forth and into the corners here. And we still got a nice little border all the way around, about 1/4 inch. So now we're just going to do the same thing on this side. And here we go. Whoops. Get there. Oh, I got some exciting news. My team doesn't even know this. I don't think, yeah, I didn't tell anybody on my team, so I know some of you are watching. Well, I gave my retirement date. So I am retiring from my job, my part-time job. It used to be a full-time job, and now it's part-time, about 16 hours a week. But I am going to retire on, my last day is August 28th, people. Write it on your calendar. August 28th. It's a Thursday. It took me, last week is when I gave my notice. I sat in my chair for 2.5 hours. And I'm like literally like 25 feet from my boss's office. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to do it, but you know, it's one of those things that's really hard if you have a department that you have worked for almost 10 years and they're like family. Like, I've seen some of my coworkers like build a family and get married, have kids. Ooh. So it's very hard to give a notice when it's like family. And I had that issue with my last job too, and the job before. Well, last year, or my last job, not as much because we moved, and so it was a little bit easier. But the job before that, it took me 2.5 years. So, oops, I'm not done with this one yet. I'm talking too much. All right, so now this one, these are different, right? Because I cut on the same, or the other side. So what I do is I'm like, okay, when I flip this box, I want this seam over here to be over here. So we'll just add this one here. Oh, this is directional paper, you guys, so you gotta make sure you're putting it on correctly. Always double check. See, it's not drying quick enough as much as I want it to because it's so humid. I love the green and the blue together. This is really nice. All right, and then this one here. I'll try to run my bone folder. See, this is kind of buckling over here. It just needs some time to dry. Okay, so now I want this. This is my front of the box, so I'm going to put it just like that so it stays that way and I remember. Now these pieces will go on the same kind of deal, right? We got all these edges to do. You can also take your bone folder and just run it on the inside of the lid, back and forth. My fingers are getting all glue, of course. I'm really not looking at the pattern of sky because the clouds are kind of clouds and a lot of times you can't even tell like when you see the shape, is it going the correct way? I don't think it really matters. So again, I'm going to have a free tutorial. If you're just coming on or coming on late, I mentioned that I'm going to have a free tutorial for email subscribers only. It won't go out for another couple days, just because I'm working tomorrow, my day job, and Wednesday, I have an appointment in the morning. So I just need a little bit of time to get the tutorial created. It will have pictures too. That means I gotta make another box, you guys, because I gotta show you the pictures, the template. All right, now we've got the top here, and I'm gonna actually look at this pattern first before I put it down. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Well, kind of. So I'm just going to look at that cloud and on either side because I want it on the front. So I kind of like this pattern here. So then this one, I'm going to turn it, let's see. I'm going to turn it this way. Alright, so there is the top. Oh, this looks really good, you guys, with the blue and the green. Oh my goodness. So that's what it looks like. And there's the ends. So now I'm going to make the closure. Okay, it's very easy. I just don't know if I have enough ribbon. So I might have to run over and get some ribbon. I thought I would use the beige ribbon. But I don't know if I have enough of it. So I'm going to do my stamping first. So this is from the Framed Scenes dies, and it's the smallest oval, and it looks like this here. And then the scalloped oval here comes from the Unbounded Love. And I've got my stamp set, or my stamp is on my desk somewhere. And it still has brown on it, so early espresso. So I just need to quickly get that brown off. And I'm going to stamp in Secret C because that's the highlight color. Oh, shoot, you guys, look. It's got something on it. Darn it. What? I don't like that. Well, anyway, I'll take it. I'm just going to tack it on. How about that? Because then I can restamp that later. So let me just use a little bit of CO Plus. Okay. Well, it's not, actually, you know what? It's not too bad. I'm gonna use it. I didn't put any embellishments on the box because I just thought it didn't need any. See, look at this. I made a huge mess with my fingers because they're all glue. Alright, we're going to add some dimensionals to the back side of this one, and I'm only going to put them on the ends because our ribbon needs to go up in this area. And let's see if I have enough of this basic beige ribbon. If not, then I'm going to run over and grab some Secret C. So now, I'm not going to make this mistake. Okay, I'm looking. double checking. And this is my front because it's folded over. Okay, so I want to make sure that's looking at me. I'm going to have enough, so that's good. So now I'm going to just bring this ribbon up here. It's going to cover some of that scenery, unfortunately, but I think it does need something on here. So I'm just going to tack this on. Okay. I can still move that ribbon up and down. I'm closing this ink pad, even though it's far enough away. I'm just afraid I'm gonna put something in it. So now I'm going to try to make a bigger bow than what's on that other one. So I'll use a little bit extra ribbon here. And do not knot this. I knotted it before and I'm like, oh shoot, I need to unknot it so I can open up the box. So don't do that. I'm going to use these crafting tweezers that one of my card club members gave me, boy, maybe 4 years ago. Oops, I got that twisted. Oh well. That's okay. Let's fuss with this just a little bit. And cut this off. There we go, nice little fancy bow at the top. And then on the other side we have our little sentiment. So I'll clean this back up. I'm going to restamp this because I can pop this up very easily and still keep that bow together. But here is your box. Isn't that sweet? So I really love how this one turned out. Let's get this one back and tied up. And we'll put them kind of side by side. Any paper will work. Like, even like if you want to make a masculine box, use our Countryside Woods designer paper. That's another good choice because it's wood grain. And there's so much, so many sheets of it. There. So I did say that, wait, is that the fold? Yeah, it is. Yeah, so this is the folded side. So I can just take this off easily. It's got some remnants, but I can clean that up very easily. These are not stuck enough, so I'll just rub these off. And grab a couple more pieces here, reapply some dimensionals. And I'll put it right about here. I'm looking at the design just to see what I want to cover up and what I don't want to cover up. All right, so let's clean up my table here. I really like the one we just made because I love that scene. But let me know what you guys think. Let me just run through and see if I've got any questions or not here. Oh, and yes, please let me know if you would like to do that. The cost is $20, just to let you know. And you could just pay me directly. I would need to know if you're going to do that so I have enough kits on order. Thank you, Judy. Yes, Debbie, you definitely most likely would use brighter colors. Thank you, Carla. Okay, I don't know what that crown means. I've never seen that before. after somebody, like your name, and there's like this crown and it says number 1, number 2, number 3. What does that mean, you guys? I have no clue. I have no idea. But anyway, we'll figure it out. I'm going to take some photography on this, and I will get my description box filled up with all the links to everything I have going on right now. And that way, if you missed an email, you can still get the information by just copy paste the URL and put it into a new browser and find out the information. So it's going to take me a little while to gather all that information, but the description box will be generated in the next, probably, what time is it? 8:23, probably in the next 2 hours. Let's call it like 2 hours. But anyway, all right, you guys, thanks so much for being here and watching me create this box. I had a great time with you guys. I will be back on Wednesday, but it will be another pre-recorded video because I have a meeting with the Green Mountain Club. I am see what I'm doing with all my free time. I am now the caretaker of one of the Appalachian Trail shelters. So he's going to show me how to take care of the shelter, the tenting area, and of course the privy. And if you don't know what a privy is, you can look that up. It's not going to be fun. But I have an appointment at 9 o'clock, so I got to meet him there. So anywho, I am going to get started on creating the description, and you guys all have a great evening. It's still a little light outside, and that's super sweet. All right, I'm going to go find my cat as well. She's outside. Have a great one. Thanks so much.